In the health and the wellness community, a lot of people are talking about a concept of methylation. Why people are talking about it now so much? How we can tell whether you have the problem with your methylation. Welcome to Dr. Yang's Health Talk. Health is our number one asset. Let's take good care of it. Before we talk about methylation, let's talk about a couple of concepts. First is called methyl group. Methyl group is simply a 1 carbon and 3 hydrogen, and when it group together, it's called a methyl group. The second is methylation. So methylation simply describes a biochemical process, and one molecule donate a methyl group to another molecule, and so that molecule can go out to function. The molecules that receive the methyl group could be an amino acid, could be a neurotransmitter, or it could be a fatty acids. Therefore, all the biochemical function in the way depends on methylation to work. For example, in mental health, the serotonin depends on methylation in its metabolism, as well as norepinephrine also needs methylation to become epinephrine, which help us to fight or flight. So as you can see, the methylation almost involved in every aspect of our biochemical functions, from the DNA replication and repair, to the immune response, to the stress response, to the mood regulations, to cardiovascular health, to digestive functions, as well as neurological and mental health. But how often people would have a problem with methylation? What can cause trouble with methylation? Here is a few factors. Factor 1, you may not get enough dietary nutrients that's needed for the methylation. For example, dietary folate, which is vitamin B9, and also vitamin B12 and vitamin B2 and vitamin B6. There are other important minerals involved in the methylation as well, such as zinc, selenium, and so on and so forth. Second is a number of enzymes involved in the methylation process. And if you have a genetic variant or genetic mutation with one or more of these enzymes, it may cause trouble with methylation. And this can be tested. Of course, even you do have genetic variant doesn't mean you will definitely having trouble. Just mean you're vulnerable or most likely to develop methylation problems. But how can we tell if you do or do not have it? There are two important testing we could do right now. One is to measure your whole blood histamine level. Histamine is broken down by the methylation process. If you are insufficient in methylation, then you have a higher level of blood histamines, and also the symptoms and the problem that a high histamine level would produce. And we talked about in our previous videos. Second is homocysteine. Homocysteine is the end product of methylation, but also is the beginning of the methylation through methylation cycle, which keep producing the methyl group for our body to use. And if you have a trouble with methylation, your homocysteine level can go really high, which itself associated with heart disease, neurological conditions, as well as depression. The third thing we can measure is actually the methylation cycle, and through a special lab. We can measure the ratio of SAMe, which donate methyl group, and with the SAH, which is the methyl cycle. We can actually measure the methyl cycle and to see how the methylation is doing and which part of the methylation cycle has a problem. Very often people will test it for a special genetic mutation of enzyme that involved in the methylation called MTHFR. And they get very nervous about having the mutation, and even being treated based on the fact they're having that genetic mutation. But in fact, that's not necessarily true, because the genetic mutation of one of the enzymes does not necessarily tell us how the overall methylation outcome in a person's body. We have to measure more than just MTHFR. If you have a question regarding the concept of methylation, and how they relate to your mental and physical health, please leave us a message in the comment section. We'll continue to discuss that in our future videos. Please remember to push the button to subscribe to our channel. We also have more information on our website, younginstitute.com. We'll see you next time.